the Frank Fiore Show and the Artilla podcast with the host, Dr. Mohhamed, and Frank Fiore, host of the Frank Fiore Show. Frank, here we go. This is where AI becomes an AI checkbook at the end, where it's going to be a bottom line. Businesses are going to have to spend a lot of money in AI. I have a story for you, but Frank, give us updates what's happening with our video for our audience, especially looking at creating book trailers and what we're seeing.
Yeah, we're getting there. As far as my trailer is concerned, for the hunting party, we are. We're redefining the prompts, and we found out that you got to be very detailed with a prompt, very detailed, which means that, for an example, we were trying to do this one. We've been suffering over this one prompt where the man gets shot going into the cabin. And we dumped all the prompts we had before, and I went back to my novel and just copied that scene,
Right.
and then put it in, and it came out a lot clearer, a lot better, which then tells me that you, as an author, right, your job is still to be creative. It's still to write these things, or these prompts as you would a scene in your book. So the argument that, the AI is going to replace the authors, that's not true. That's not true. If you want a good, strong prompt that's going to give you the video that you want, you have to write the prompt just like you would write in your novel, a scene in your novel, or a scene in your screenplay. So it just takes a lot of creativity still. So AI is not replacing that creativity.
I see. I don't think it'll ever replace the creativity. And I want to get Dr. Muhammad's take on this because I think that what we have to look at is it's a huge productivity tool, but it's also going to be a tool to make you and become better at what
That's
you
right.
are. And I wish that Dr. Muhammad, that said versus what Elon's saying, or Elon's talking about replace, replace, replace. I rather say enhance, enhance, enhance.
No, definitely. I think what AI seems good at is replicating human creativity. It's just replicating because it has to have a precedent on which it will base its new creation. But like the creation out of nowhere is often the human that will push it in either a prompt or, like you said, a paragraph of a book. And definitely, I agree with you, Neil. It's the AI is the intellectual capacity extension for humans. That's the power of it for us, for all of us.
Right. And it's unreal, man, because where we're
Yeah.
going, like an example, I have clients challenging me. I got to build my first N8N workflow by
Mhm.
Monday. And I have never done, so I'm going to be purchasing that. And then, like I said, it's going to be a very expensive thing to become better. Then, as we are working in 11 labs right now with Dr. Gilda Carl's audiobook, we're hoping that works well. It sounds fantastic.
Mhm.
One of my clients I've coached, Patrick Riley, same deal. He is creating his audiobook using 11 labs, but we have to be creative and we have to learn from AI. And
Yeah.
Frank, that's the key thing. You're doing the same thing. You're learning. And I think the mistake people make is they feel that they're not going to touch it because they don't want it to be replaced when we could become better, way better.
Yeah.
I agree. AI can really assist the authors in so many different ways, but that doesn't replace the author's creativity. You got to write a prompt with the mood and with the environmental aspects and stuff. That's all part of writing. If you're a novel writer, if you're a novelist, then that's the way you write. I mean, you don't just don't throw two or three lines on a page, which you say is a prompt, and then expect people to understand what you're saying. You've got to write that out, and the more you write out, the better their prompts are. That becomes your prompt. The output is better, so much better. The video output.
All right, so let's jump into Frank, where we're going next. We're going to put together the 5 pieces of the trailer and take the videos you created. So you felt because you knew it more and you knew what you were seeing, you're learning more and more on Sora how to do it yourself almost in a way with the videos, at least creating the slides.
Yeah, that's correct. And and learning how AI operates. I mean, it's almost like you really got to know how it thinks and how it works. Uh, almost think of yourself dictating of your book, okay, to someone that's going to type it up. You've got to be really clear about what the scene is that they are reproducing. Now, AI has to learn that, and AI is a learning platform. Don't expect it to do everything for you. It will put in things if you're not careful, it will put things in the video that you didn't have in the prompt because it felt something is missing, and so
Didn't I
it,
tell you how important the prompt is, Frank, in our last session? I said you literally have to write everything down you want in the prompt. If you're missing anything, or AI will take things out of it, they'll make it more brief. The more detailed is, the better the video is going to
Yeah.
be.
And
well,
also, I think
we
Frank
have.
here,
I'm sorry,
Frank, I think you highlighted something very important is that you can make prompt with the positive things that you want in your video, but also the negative things should be part of the prompt, like do not put a dog or do not put this, because otherwise it will tend to find the most logic thing that is maybe missing, like you said, Frank.
That's true. I found out that I make a prompt and like there's a hole in the prompt, okay, and AI will fill it with what it thinks it needs, and then you got to go back and say, no, 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 don't do that. And prompt it
That
again.
is exactly how AI was trained. All AI models have been trained to predict the next word,
Right,
and that's what it does.
right.
It will
And
predict what should have been there.
well, prediction is not good when you're trying to do a
No,
video.
it's not
Well, but
always
they're
good.
trying to save money, and this goes back to the AI credits. Descript, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to rip these guys to shreds. They did a bait and switch on us this month, Descript. At least on not my grandfather account that I started. I was one of the early adopters of Descript. The newest one, they have added AI credits into how you edit videos. So they're charging for AI credits now. So you can
Mm,
you're exhausting AI credits because they've added so much to AI. This is the problem that we're going to deal with, and I have a feeling it's going to happen in ChatGPT. It's going to happen everywhere when the
yeah,
law of supply and demand changes. If you want a better software, you're going to have to pay for all the credits, and you're going to run out of credits, just like gamers are running out of credits. Descript
yeah.
did this. I hope everyone stops using Descript. I'm just going to give you that up, and I hope I should create a couple shorts to throw out there, because if you're going to go and not tell your people with your software that you're going to now charge for removing ums and ahs when you never charged for those before, you're going to charge for doing certain tech tactics, going ahead and getting rid of word filler gaps, improving the sound quality. If you're going to charge for all this without telling your customer and just throw them in, you really don't have a good business model. So Descript, go
Yeah.
back to what you did or go under. First thing I'm going to do, I use it as a storage tool. I'm going to download every one of them because I'm sure they're going to be charging for storage next. Dr. Mohhamed, are you seeing a lot of people going into the credit model now because these softwares aren't going to
Yeah.
survive?
Unfortunately, too many of these AI models are basing all their income on credit consumption. So they can give you like many parts that are free. Like ChatGPT does that. They give you the orchestrator, the agent kit, and so on. And the whole objective is that you consume more and more credits. It's the credit economy. It's the AI credit economy. And once you're hooked into it, then you just have to pay the bill. The variable cost can be surprisingly high. I know people who are spending more than $1,000 on an AI that they thought it was $20 per month because of the credits.
Let me ask you, Dr. Mohammed.
Yeah.
Neil and I were talking about this. Uh, I prompted, a scene in the trailer that we're doing, and it basically is the elk being shot, and the elk that they put in from previous understandings, and it had a pretty good elk, but it wasn't the elk. I mean, this Caesar elk has to be almost mystical. He's got to be above and beyond.
Hmm.
And so I asked it to take that picture in ChatGPT and bring it more realistic and more mystical or whatever. And he came up with a pretty good elk. And so what I
Hmm.
did is in the chat line there, I attached the new elk to the prompt, And sure enough, it read that and replaced that elk with the new elk, which is really amazing. Now, I think about, so, well, that'd be great. That means we could replace the generated humans in a prompt with the characters that we created, the human characters that we have in the book, right? And but will AI do that, or they will not replace or put a human, an image of a human, a character generated? There's a noted difference between that, because Neil believes that they will not put a human in a
Yeah, I think it's a policy limitation. It's not a technical limitation.
right
It's a
job.
policy limitation. Yeah. So I know that some downloadable local LLM models, they basically are unlocked and they allow you to put a human real or not real. They just do whatever you want. But I think the big guys are under a lot of surveillance and they are regulated. So they will probably for now. I think Sora is blocking that, right, Neil? You can, unless it's you.
The Sora is blocking uploading anything that could look like it's a copyright issue, except animals. Now they're allowing you to take film videos of animals and then make them characters in your thing, so you can film your dog. Now your dog can be in the character thing. The process is we're going to go from so many different things. The biggest fight going into 2026 is the midterms. The midterms are going to push if AI is going to be more available for people and have less restrictions, or have more restrictions in the United States. The midterms will prove everything if AI is going to, if we're going to win the AI advancement war or lose it. Just letting you people know that and say, well, why don't we just restrict it? If we restrict AI, we will lose more than you ever imagine. And that's the thing. But I mean, I remember Dr. Mohhamed, we were talking about on another podcast how we thought software engineers would be eliminated. Well, they made things more difficult now for the average human being to make it so only software engineers can do it. So somebody in the developers and all those different companies where we've seen this growth, especially with the whole making it like N8N and all these products, they've created things that are only a software engineer's brain can use. Dr. Mohhamed, what's your thoughts on that? Where we were seeing the elimination of the very talented person, the very talented video editor, the very intelligent, but now they made it where those video editors, those software engineers can even be further stronger than the average human being now.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So some people are going to be enhanced by it. Some people, they're going to lose capacity. But you know that we were talking about the developers and what will happen, and it was not like a black and white thing. We were discussing that a lot of developers now, they will become product developers instead of code developers. They will develop the commercial part of it. And a lot of business developers like us will become vibe coders. And it's going to be like a bit of a mix in there. The developers come into the business world, and the business world come into development. And somewhere around there, we're going to have much more projects. You know, there are going to be some mistakes and so on, but I think there will be a lot of wealth created by these two merges of these two oceans.
I mean, honestly, think it makes you get better. Bottom line, because if you don't, you're going to lose, or you're going to have to just go and be in this phase. Well, I guess I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life, and nothing else is going to happen. And this is give you an example, how I'm going to be building agents. Now, next week's podcast, I'm going to fight the whole automation fact. And some of this AI is not as good for a company that I could teach you guys. Then I'm going to set everything automated with AI. No. Why don't you learn to get your team more productive, have a better output of human beings, and be able to make more money and scale faster, versus I'm going to make sure I put all these automations into place and hope that they're going to take over. And I know that's kind of good, Dr. Mohhamed. Then I'll get
that's the misunderstanding that we have often with AI and automation, is that you can only automate business processes that have been established by humans, because you replace human work. So you have to first modelize your business processes. What do you do? How do you create value? And then where you store the file? And people, a lot of the time, they miss modeling their business processes, and therefore they have it in their head intuitively, but they never express it properly to automate it. So I find a lot of gaps at that level.
All right, let's go, Frank. What are your thoughts? I mean, how has this improved you as a human being? And how much do you feel the AI has made go further than you ever thought you would go in technology?
Well, I'll give you an example. Okay. My wife was talking to a company, health company, and we want to present that kind of a concept to the medical practice that she's working with now. So I asked AI, look at those companies, okay, existing companies, right? What are they doing? Okay, and how can we reproduce it, right? And boy, within I don't know, maybe I worked 5 minutes, 10 minutes on it, and spit out a whole business plan, marketing plan, and everything. It's just amazing, and modeling it after those companies that we're looking at. So there's something to think about. I mean, imagine you're sitting there and you're hired, you're a white collar worker or whatever, and you're hired to create not only a business plan but a marketing plan and the SOP manuals and all that,
That's
right?
what I'm doing. That's what we're doing with Media Giant
And it can
Productions for
do it,
clients.
and it does it. So you could ask it to do it and spit it out, and then you can make your modifications. But imagine you're trying to work hours upon hours trying to create that.
Oh, it's unreal. And this is where you got to go and more tweak it and change it. But yeah, I've been doing this stuff since the day one. That's where the gold is. The gold is in building systems and processes for your business using AI and having an AI team versus automations. And I will fight this tooth and nail to show what product production quality. I think that these automations at one point are going to be really good, but some I don't ever want in my business. I'd rather build another business. And or I would only go with people, my clients, that would need this type of automation that some companies do need. And that's where you choose to build your business and how you should use AI and those things. But Frank, talk to me. If you need somebody that could go and build that deal for you and close it, that's where the gold is, man. That's where the absolute gold is. Because if that company needs to create an automation telephone calls to have AI answer them, I could create an AI automation with phone calls. I do these things. This is what I'm looking at. And I think that's so much more important to do it. There's a company called Jets Pizza where you can literally call Jets and an automated bot answers the call, goes through your whole thing and you order your food, and then and you talk back and forth, goes through your menu and everything. That is so much better than, let's say, going out and outsourcing it somewhere else, or allowing the annoying saying, "Hold on, please wait," and we'll get you and connect you.
Yeah.
That is something that is so gold that I consider a huge value. But go back, Dr. Mohhamed.
No, that's I think customer support, customer onboarding is a huge win for businesses when they integrate AI, either voice or even as a chat, as an AI chat assistant. It's huge. There's huge gains.
Totally.
So Dr. Mohhamed, so where do you think we're going? What do you think? What's the end result of AI? I mean, it's not going to replace humans. I don't believe in this singularity thing. It'll come close, but it's a philosophy of what a human being is. Okay, but yeah, it's gonna do a lot of human stuff. But where do you think this thing is going to be going?
I think how you call it, the ultimate result. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I think the ultimate result of this technology that we call AI is that we will understand ourselves better as humans. This thing is going to push us to our limits. It's going to push us to question reality. It's going to push us through the intellectual process until we reach our limits. So I think we're going to discover ourselves at the DNA level, at the health level, at the psychological level, at the spiritual level, religious, and so on. This technology is going to push us into all our endeavors in every discipline. So eventually, I think we will know ourselves better. That's my feeling and my hope.
No,
so
I
whatever
think
you
yeah.
So whatever you have, as is it in English predilection? Whatever you have as you're like rather a good man, or you're a little bit an angry man. that could be super amplified, and from an angry man you become like like a terrorist. But if you're a good-hearted man, you become an angel. There will be that
12,
kind of
yeah.
accelerations.
They said 12% of work has already been replaced thanks to AI, according to a study. And I would absolutely believe it's the research. It's the certain things that, yes, AI has replaced that. So here's the problem people have to look at. And I really feel for the worker, the average worker. The average worker is never going to be able to go and do their Christmas shopping on a slow month at the end of the year anymore. They're never going to be able to they're not going to be able to take breaks and say, okay, I'm just going to go slowly but surely, because now that's over. So
That's
you're going to
why,
have to work the entire time. You're going to have to be on task the entire time, because companies are going to want a specific output. And with AI, that output can happen so that you don't need 4 employees to do that output. You only need 1 employee with an AI teams.
I think they're already kind of telling us, when they interview Sam Altman or other people, they say that they have to come up with a universal income for all the humans, because you don't want to have a revolution if suddenly a big chunk of humans feel useless. They're gonna go on rampage, So
Oh, that is
universal
true.
income and entertainment.
A universal income for the ones that don't want to work.
Don't want to work, or they feel like they disconnected from the economy and they can't get back in. They didn't upgrade their skills, and then they find themselves socially irrelevant. That's a dangerous combination for society.
Well, that's why we have to revamp the educational system from bottom to
Yeah.
top.
Oh my gosh, that's a
start
big.
right. I mean, our educational system is just woefully inadequate. We're not giving them skills. And I don't mean how to use AI, just think.
Worldwide it is, because, but see,
Yes.
that's where I guess I have a feeling if the government's in control, they know there's going to be a universal income for people that aren't going to be capable of working. That's going to be more the most deepest thing, but that's 10, 20 years down the road, maybe 5. You better,
Maybe,
it's
yeah.
very interesting. The Tate brothers, like them or hate them, even though do you want to live in the matrix or not live in the matrix? You live in the matrix, you continue to go your route, living in the matrix, living in the system, thinking everything's going to be fine, or you're going to see a sense of urgency more than any urgency you've ever seen in your entire life. And you got to become better and better and better so AI doesn't get rid of you. Because AI is not going to get rid of you. Your competitor is going to get rid of you. Period.
Yeah, the markets will kick you out.
But education, Frank, I would love to go into schools, and that's why Total Tutor is launching again. I said this before, but it is for sure. In 2026, we're relaunching Total Tutor, and we're going to have these conversations. We're not going to use AI like our plans. We're going to partner with an organization. We decide, nope, we're going to go traditional, but we're going to talk about specifically enough how education needs to be. What are the standards? What can a human being needs to be able to do? They need to be able to think on their own. They're going to have to be able to jump into things and not be trained. They're going to have to do all these things because AI can do it for you. And we need to train them to be able to work with AI. So, Frank, you don't need an employee manual. You create an SOP, you throw it in AI, and then you tell them, you figure it out. We're not going to waste time training you. You have to figure it out. You're going to get fired.
Yeah, exactly. And you have half day or 1 day, and that's it.
That's it.
You have to become productive.
No 1 week of training, no 2 weeks of training. Is that controversial? That's going to be absolutely controversial. Are we going to look at the human work and the meaning of human work? Absolutely, we're going to have that conversation. But worldwide, there are some people in the world today that are not living the income standard that the United States lives, and they don't understand those people are working 80, 100, 120 hours just for ends meet, nothing else.
Yeah.
And they don't get it.
And even I heard in a YouTube video of a researcher, he was saying that something like, I don't remember the percentage, but a lot of Americans are living 2 paychecks away. So if they miss two payments, they can't pay their house and stuff. And that's what contributes to a large number of people ending up in the streets, homeless. So even advanced societies have that problem of being 1 or 2 paychecks away from poverty.
What do you think AI would respond to a prompt saying, AI, I want you to design an educational curriculum that the human should have or should know
Could be.
going into an AI future? It'd be interesting to see what the
It
AI
would be
comes.
very interesting.
AI does not want to do that because they're trying to be political correct with the teachers union. I already did this
You
on
did?
go back to the Singularity podcast with Gary Lionotto and we did talk about that. And the answer was collaborating with educators and all that. This is
Ah,
where the biggest
they
challenge is
cornered
going to
it.
be
Yeah,
is college going to be worthwhile for anyone in 10 years? That's going to bankrupt college. You try to put
yeah,
it into the unit. So memorization, even though it's a great tool to make your brain really strong, is going to have to be in a different way now. They're going to have to come through a way of orienting where you don't need to memorize everything, but you
yeah,
also have to be quick thinkers. And a lot of your questions aren't going to be stupid rote memorization answers anymore because AI can go and do that. And at one point, we're going to input that in our brains. So our brains are going to literally say, "Okay, thank you, I got it. My
mhm,
brain's working on it." That's it, period. And so that is in itself is going to be fixed. Um, what else do you feel? So Frank, that's where that would be great. You go into education, you go into healthcare, and you figure out a way to fix those systems with AI, you will be a billionaire. Because the bottom line is those are the two most guarded areas that
mm.
don't want AI, and you're going to have to fight tooth and nail to put it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of industries that have placed gatekeepers against AI, or they use a specific AI only for them. But I don't know if you noticed, Neil, but I notice it in many listings, like in Hugging Face and other places where people share AI models. You have now a lot of people. They somehow unlock certain AI models so that they can do what they are not allowed to do. So maybe a version of ChatGPT 4 exists that is unlocked and will actually give you a real answer from the AI model perspective what education should be. But then you will find it will be like you have to download it somewhere.
I would go to
It's
Grok.
gray
Grok would
zone.
probably be the one that answers that potentially. It's just, but I don't know how you would do that. You basically have to ask it to become a PhD level education pedagogical teacher and
Yeah.
fix kindergarten with AI. How would you fix the way we teach kindergarten?
Mm.
See, I think that we don't need to fix elementary. And this is my final point for today's podcast. But this is,
Hmm.
I'm sure everyone's get K through 5. We don't need to fix it if we teach the 3 R's: reading, writing, arithmetic. Nothing
Yeah.
else through 5th grade. And then after 5th grade, you go into applied models where you are not in a factory type system in the classroom anymore. You are in a system where you're creating things
Yeah.
and you're creating things in all the areas. Scientifically, you're learning how to build robots in 6th grade. In biology, you're basically learning how to become a doctor and diagnose things. And you add all of those standards in a type workforce like that, that's it. But you got to make them stronger in reading than they've ever been, stronger in writing than they ever been, and stronger in mathematics than they've ever been. Forget everything else.
Yeah.
Throw everything else in the bathwater out. Like all the math that was created later where you're showing all these equations and things like that. You don't need that. You need to be able to do math in your head. You need to be able to do all these 3 skills because that's the proven fact if you're going to be successful in life or not. If you can do the 3 R's, and everything else should be applied learning afterwards using AI. And that means that your mathematics courses are going to teach math in a way so you can become a computer programming and vibe code and do all these
Hmm.
specific things. And if you're going to be a lawyer, earlier, you need to introduce these things in classes and teach rhetoric and teach all these things that we should have, Frank, before, but because we had the factory union school system in place,
Yeah.
it was set up to make people dummies so that
Yeah. I
you
think.
have the, and now you can't do that. You can't go and put people in dummies, or you're just going to have to pay for them to stay home because there's going to be no menial job that is not going to be done by AI and robots in the next 5 years. Those are the ones that are going to be removed. The entry level positions are going to be gone, and the high upper management positions are going to be gone. And then you're going to have, that is what you're going to look at in the workforce. No one's going to get paid to work for a corporation to manage people anymore. That's not happening anymore.
That would be challenged. Do you say in English, Neil, in America, do you say that when you work for the government or for a ministry, they call you public servant? Do you have that word in English?
Yes.
Public servant. So we have the same in France. And I realized early that that's what shaped education, is that they wanted us to be bots for the state. You know, that's how they built our society. But now, like you say, we need thinkers, we need solution providers, we need creativity. We don't need servants to a state or to a system.
Right. Okay. All right. Go to frankfiore.com, artilla.com, RTILA.com, and neilhaley.com. Appreciate it. That was a special Traumacast, the Neil Haley Show, the Frank Fiore Show, and